Hi everybody. Wanted to get on here real quick and just report some thoughts that I've been having. I have to go to work here in a second, so I don't have a lot of time. But I haven't recorded a video in a while, and there's a couple reasons for it. Number one, I just don't want to give anybody bad advice. But number two, I talked a little bit, well, that was the subject of the last video. I talked about how I've been trying to cure myself of this social anxiety, and I feel like I really have. And one of the things I've realized through this process is that there's actually a really good reason to be afraid of a lot of people, because a lot of people are not good. I don't know if it's just the time and place that we are, in the framework of the span of history, but the morality of people is pretty low, and the amount of people that will lie to you and the amount of people that will try to manipulate you and take advantage of you and use whatever weakness you have against you is kind of scary. And so, like, I've been going through this whole process trying to make myself a less anxious and socially awkward person, and what I've found is that now I can converse with people. Now I can really connect with people, but my camera keeps sliding down. I have to stop and tighten it. But one of the things that I found is that a lot of the people that I really cared about just aren't that great of people. You find out now that I've been able to open up to you and you've been able to talk to me, I find that you're not a person that I can trust or should trust. And it's kind of crazy because you realize, at least for me, what I've realized is that I was very afraid of how people were judging me, but what I should have been doing is properly discerning and judging the people that were around me. And it doesn't mean I know some people say only God can judge me, and that's not true, and that's not a thing that really, I don't even think that's a biblical thing. I don't think that the Bible says you're not supposed to judge people. I think you're supposed to practice righteous judgment or something like that. So you're not supposed to just not judge people. You're supposed to choose who's the best people to be in your life, and some people are just not it. Some people just, you really have to ask yourself, do these people have my best interests at heart? Are they just using me? I heard this guy randomly, I don't know if I ever talked about this in a video, but I was working at Claire's for a long time, and there was this guy that came in, and he said he was talking to a friend, and I think they were on the phone with someone as well, and so they were being a bit louder than they normally would have been. And so I overheard their conversation. That's my cheek. I know I just have dimples. And what he said was, if a person doesn't benefit you financially, spiritually, physically, or emotionally, I think was the last one, then there's no reason for them to be a part of your life. And it's also true that you're an amalgam of the 5 closest people to you. And so in order to discern who those people should be, and in order to be able to make the proper decisions on who should be in your life, you need to be asking yourself, are these people benefiting me in any way? And also you need to take into account that it doesn't always have to be about you. Maybe you're learning from a person who's very, philanthropic, and you're benefiting because you're learning how to be helpful to other people. That's also spiritually beneficial too. Maybe you're helping a person out, financially. That's also spiritually beneficial too. So it doesn't always have to be about you. But if you're in a relationship with a person, friendship or associate or whatever it might be, you need to really ask yourself, are these good people? Because a lot of times they're not. And it's okay that people that are not good people, because they're everywhere. Just horrible people are everywhere, and a lot of people like you. I'm realizing that I had this kind of misguided notion that you should be able to tell if a person is like evil or bad or has bad interests, is negatively affecting your life on purpose. You should be able to tell that, like in their eyes and their mannerisms and things. That is not true. It's not true at all. People are very, what would you call it? They're very deceptive, and deceptive people will lead you astray, and they will guide you down horrible paths. And so you really, I think we all, if we're trying to become more social people, then we really need to start asking ourselves before you start being social with just random people, because I'm, pushing 40, I'm in my mid-30s, and this is a lesson I've learned more recently. It's just how to discern between good and bad people. So if you're younger and this is a thing that you're trying to struggle with, just ask yourself that: are these people good for me? And are they good for me in any way? Spiritually, financially, physically, emotionally? And if they're not, then you don't have to be mean to them. Just don't really associate with them. Just kind of until, and also don't be super judgmental either, because some people are just, they're going through some stuff in their life, and you got to give them some time to figure out the right path. And some people will also use that as a way to manipulate you as well. Like, I'm just trying to get my shit together. Maybe you just help me out, blah, blah, blah. But no, you have to also pay attention to people's actions, because people will say things, but if they don't follow through, then what they said was a lie. So you have to be able to admit to yourself when a person is just not being honest with you. Because you want to assume the best in people, and I think that a lot of us fall into that trap where we think that, like, they would never do that, but they would. There's awful, awful, awful people in the world, like truly awful. Like, I don't even want to give examples. Like, I've heard such horror stories. Like, I tried to read a lot of books about, like, what happens when a population gets taken over by like a tyrannical government. I read a bunch of different books about that, and just that I want to like look out for the signs. That's a whole other video. But you start to notice that people will make bad decisions, and sometimes not on purpose. They will make bad decisions because they've justified those bad decisions to themselves, or they truly believe that they're going to do a thing that they say that they're going to do, but they talk themselves out of doing that thing, and in doing so make the thing that they previously said a lie. But they do it in such a way that they didn't like intend to say it was a lie. They just kind of like sidetracked and it became a lie later on. So you can't really fault them for that. It's like, it's a manipulation tactic that a lot of people use, and you really have to think who's following through and what they say they're on what people say they're going to do, and who's being honest and who's being beneficial to you. And if you're trying to be beneficial to another person, are they using that benefit properly, or are they if you give a person money and they go buy heroin with it, maybe you did a good deed, but like also maybe they just killed themselves. So like, you have to pay attention to, are your good deeds bearing good fruit, or are your good deeds causing potential ruin in the future? And the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So anyway, that's my little thought for the day. Be careful if you're trying to be socially active. Just be really careful about who the heck you're being social with, because some people mean it. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Alright, bye.